Connections. I'm your host, Jean Newell with Waterview Realty, and we have another great guest in the studios with us today, and also my co-host, Jonathan Lack. Hello, Jonathan.
Hello, Jean.
We have some great things to talk about as far as our community and tourism and various businesses and events coming up. But quickly, let's talk a little bit about what we're doing. Tell the audience a little bit about your background and the three hats that you wear.
All right. Well, Lack & Lack Chartered is a transactional real estate law firm, and we also have Waterview Title Services, which is a full-service title insurance agency, and Waterview Realty Services, which is a full-service residential and commercial real estate brokerage. So basically, if you're doing anything with real estate, we should be able to assist you within our offices.
That's right. Well, we're both from South Florida, and we know that the Chamber of Commerce is always one of our buddies because people come up here and they want to know, they want the Chamber of Commerce tour. They want to see Brevard County as it's always been presented to people as that great place to come and retire, visit, tourism. So we thought we'd
raise a family,
raise a family. Raise a family right here. That's right. The one thing, Jonathan, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but I always tell my friends when they come to the Space Coast, I said the one weird thing coming from South Florida is you seldom hear horns honking.
That's true. What brought me up here was the lack of traffic.
Exactly, but you seldom hear. And I used to tell people when I was touring them for real estate that it was against the law to honk your horn. I was kidding with them, but I think it's spread throughout the county and people don't honk their horns, but it's seldom that you hear it. Or in South Florida, you know, that minosecond when the light turns from red to green, you got 10 people laying on their horns making you take off, you know. So those are just some of the things that I know that was somewhat minor, but it gives you an idea of the laid back. It's a different type of community than some of you might picture if you're living in South Florida or you're coming down to Florida for the first time. So not to spend any more time on that, let's get no further ado. Let's introduce our guest for today. Do you want to go ahead and introduce her, Jonathan?
All right, I'd love to. We have Jennifer Sugarman, who is the president and CEO of the Cocoa Beach Chamber of Commerce. And the Cocoa Beach Chamber covers, for those of you who don't know, Brevard County is a very long, narrow county. So we, in the real estate market, describe it as South County, Central County, and North County, though there are definitely overlaps. But I would describe the Cocoa Beach as the Central County. So,
absolutely.
Jennifer, welcome to the show, and why don't you tell us a little bit about the Chamber?
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, and I can totally relate with what you're saying because I am originally from Atlanta, so I, too, come from the land of the honking horns. And I just started a family, so I'm currently raising my family here, and it's an amazing place. The Cocoa Beach Chamber in its current iteration was formed in 1968. There used to be, believe it or not, even more chambers in the county, and they all merged together, Rockledge, Merritt Island, whole Cocoa Beach, central part of the county, to form the Cocoa Beach Regional Chamber of Commerce. So we've been around for almost 50 years. We're about to celebrate our 50th anniversary, which is fantastic. We are quite a large chamber. We average on any given year about 1,500 different business partners. We do call our members partners. And we're a great organization. We're all about local. We're about business. We're there to be a catalyst for business success. I will tell you in our chamber, about 80% are 1 to 4 employees. So we are a small business chamber. We, of course, have some of our larger partners like Lockheed and Boeing and SpaceX and our big guys, which and Health First, you know, they all allow us to do what we do for small business. So there's a really nice partnership there and a symbiotic partnership with the chamber. So it's a great thing that we do. To describe everything we do in one sitting, I would bore everyone to tears with one block of talking, but we're everywhere. We have a very strong military affairs council. Our chamber in particular, we're very supportive of veterans, but our primary focus is on active duty, E6 and below military men and women. Also, we have a huge Convention and Visitors Bureau presence. We are known as the Tourism Chamber because we carry that Cocoa Beach name. So we do a lot within the tourism community and work with our Office of Tourism for the county and a lot of different groups in the chamber all under one house. So we're kind of have our hands in all different kinds of cookie jars.
Well, let everybody know where you're located. You've got a convenient location because if you go to the mall, you're right there.
Exactly. So if you're a shopper, you're in trouble. Thank God I'm not. But we have several locations. Actually, now we have expanded. So our main chamber office is right here in Merritt Island, 400 Fortenberry, right behind the Merritt Square Mall. It's the nice yellow building that you see when you drive past. And then we also have a location in Vieira. So we have a 5,000 square foot facility in the Avenue Vieira that we use as a venue. So we rent it out to different community members and partners. And then the front part of that office is our actual chamber office. So that's Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. And then we also have our Convention and Visitors Bureau, which we just moved from Cape Canaveral into the downtown city of Cocoa Beach, kind of diagonally across from where Ron John Surf Shop is. So definitely capturing a lot of the tourists there. And the Convention and Visitors Bureau has a satellite kiosk, if you will, in Exploration Tower in Port Canaveral, which is that nice sail-shaped building and attraction there in the port. So we kind of have 4 different locations total, and we spread quite a wide range of Central Brevard.
You must cover about, I would just estimate, at least 45 miles from Pineda to the port.
Yes. And like I explained, there's 4 chambers in our county. We all do amazing things. And I like to say, if you've seen one chamber, you've seen one chamber, because we're all chambers of commerce. And at the end of the day, we all want what's best for the county, and we work together really well. But we all do something a little different. Melbourne's great. They've got Northrop Grumman and all the jobs coming in and the big business there, manufacturing, high tech. Our chamber is a little more tourism, hospitality focused. So we see hoteliers, restaurateurs, different people like that that are in the hospitality industry. And of course, space and military is huge for our chamber. You've got Titusville, who does great things with nature and space. Palm Bay, of course, is down there, and Nancy's doing great things. So we have got a really comprehensive county. We kind of include everybody. And as you alluded to, Jonathan, we're Long County, so there's quite a lot going on at all times.
72 miles of coastline a little bit of everything.
That's right. And we have partners all over the county, all 72 miles. It just depends on, I always say when I'm meeting with businesses or when my team is meeting with businesses, it's not about territories or lines. It's about what do you want to get out of the chamber. And we don't care who you're with. We just want you a part of a chamber because they're great organizations. We do great things.
What are some of the events that the public could come to, or if you're not a member, you might want to check it out? Don't you have Wednesdays?
I think we do somewhere to the tune of 125 events a year. So if we're not having an event during a certain day, we're planning for the next one. Case in point, we just had our Wednesday Friends Day last night, which is a silly name, but serious business. We were out at the Comfort Inn and Suites, and that's one of the largest networking events that we have in the county, let alone for our chamber. It's usually anywhere between 150 to, I think we've had 450 was where we maxed out once when we were at Exploration Tower. And it's all businesses that are either partners or they're guests of a partner, or they want to become a partner, and they come to check us out and network and pass business cards and break some bread. And it's really a great way to form some partnerships for your business. So Wednesday Friends Day is great. We have our banner events every year, like our annual gala is always a big to-do. We install our new board, and it's always at a really nice location with a great theme. And it's a little more focused towards the businesses and our board members and things like that. We've got our Chowder Cook-Off, which is in its 36th year. I should know that, but it's been over 3 decades. That's usually for the past, I think, 21 years. It's been out at Port Canaveral at a cruise terminal. So this coming year, it's going to be February 2nd, which is a Friday at Cruise Terminal 1. And that's always a lot of fun because the community comes out. People drive from Orlando. Tourists that are here that see it in their hotel come. And it's a huge chowder competition, food competition in general, because they have signature items they can compete with as well, like desserts and appetizers. We always have a celebrity judge or 5 or 6 and a great band and prizes and raffles and a silent auction that has thousands and thousands of dollars worth of memorabilia. So it's a great event, and that's always February. And I could go on and on. We have, like I said, over 125 of them throughout the year, but the banner ones are the Chowder Cook-Off. We have Taste of the Coast coming up on September 22nd at the Cocoa Beach Country Club. That's another food competition. When you put food and alcohol in a room, people come running. So
realtors like food.
Oh yeah. Well, who doesn't?
Drinks.
Who doesn't? That's right.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you from my experience with the chambers is the networking is fantastic.
Yes.
I mean, anytime I've ever gone to the event, I'm like, I need to do this more. I need to get out there more. You always meet great people.
Yeah.
You can exchange services. And what I like best about it, the reason I always like to network is really not for me to get more business, though, of course, that's a part of it, but to find other people that I can refer business to.
Absolutely.
I find wearing the 3 hats that I wear, I get a lot of calls. I kind of become a gatekeeper for information. So people call me about a lot of different things. And it is through the chamber and the chamber partners that I can refer out business and know that my clients are being well cared for by, quality business professionals here in our community.
Well, you just hit the nail on the head. I wish I could duplicate you because a lot of times I think when you're a business owner, sometimes we can lose sight of, it's all about getting leads and business for me. But if you're out there and helping others, eventually it's going to come back to you. And so that's what we preach in our chamber as well. And we have 7 different leads clubs right now in different parts of the county that are all there to forge relationships on a more intimate level and refer each other leads. So that's one way we do that. But certainly at the bigger networking events, we hear a lot, I just don't have time to get out of my business. I can't do it. Even my own husband, he's a one-man show with a small business. And so we've really tried to think outside the box in our chamber of, okay, if you can't come to a Wednesday Friends Day or an event, how do we bring the chamber to you? So one of the new solutions, one of the things that we're doing is an online business card exchange. So one of the things that I love about the chamber is that it does sort of force you to get out and to do a face-to-face, because I think in an age of digital, some of that's getting lost. Some of the skills to network in person is getting lost. And we do teach a class on that at the chamber. But we are moving into a more digital time. So to try and keep up with that, we do have this online business card exchange. And it's essentially, I call it speed dating. It's online speed dating, essentially, is what it is, but with businesses. And it's a chat room. And it drops you into a new chat every 6 minutes with a new business partner. And you can sit there and look at their profile. So you don't even have to go through the who are you with, what's your name, all of that. It's already done when you fill out the profile. You talk about how maybe you could partner or help each other. You move on to the next person, and that conversation is then saved. And you have all that information at the end of the hour. So it's something that you can do on your smartphone, on your laptop, on your lunch break. If you're sitting there checking out customers, talk when you can. It's, I think it's a great solution to the old adage of I don't have time. So
that's a really intriguing event. Now, how is that something that's ongoing, or is it a scheduled thing? In other words,
it's ongoing.
I do a lot of the networking events, but they're 8 o'clock every Thursday morning. And again, sometimes I can't make it 8 o'clock on every Thursday morning.
Yeah. So. Well, what's interesting about the chambers too is, and the 4 of us get together quite often, the 4 presidents, but what's funny is that some chambers do really well with morning events. That's just that business climate. Our chamber hates morning events. We don't want to get out of bed, me included. So we tend to do more lunches and nighttime events. We do have some morning events, but we try and you can look at my calendar here. Everything is pretty much scheduled, and you can get lost in the sea of first Thursday, second Friday, all this kind of stuff. But the online business card exchange is always the 3rd Friday. And it starts at 11 a.m. And if you're interested in registering for that, I encourage the public or the business owner to go to our website, which is cocobeachchamber.com. You can find it right there in our calendar, and you can register for the event.
Do you have to be a member of
You
the
do
chamber?
not have to be a member. No, we encourage you to come and network with our members. It's just a value that we provide as a chamber to the community.
Give out that website one more. I don't even think we talked about the website.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
Contact information for those of us who are very interested.
Yes. Well, like I said, the main chamber office is in Merritt Island, 400 Fortenberry Road. And then our website is Coco, and that's with an A for those of you that might not be from here originally or visiting, Coco, COCOA, beachchamber.com. And our main number is 321-459-2200.
Well, now some great information on that, and I know if when people come up from South Florida or from New York or wherever we happen to find them, or they call us, they always like to have information about the cities. And we either visit the chamber and pick up a lot of things and send it to them, or they come in and sometimes we just take them right to the chamber. What would a person coming into town for the first time, what would they expect to see at the Chamber of Commerce? What kind of brochures do you have or information?
It's a great question. Well, the first thing you're going to see, whether you're going to our chamber office or our Convention and Visitors Bureau, which is a tourist center on the beach, is you're going to be greeted with a friendly face. So we pride ourselves on...
No horns honking.
No horns honking. No, I promise. Definitely a little different than Atlanta, but you walk in and you see a friendly face, whether it's a volunteer or one of our staff. We pride ourselves on thorough training and customer service. So that's the first thing you're going to get. Firsthand knowledge. A lot of these volunteers or our staff are either from here, been here a long time, or they've been trained by someone that's been here for a long time. And in our chamber, it can look a little overwhelming. It's just wall-to-wall brochures and business cards. But many people like that. I've noticed there's a bit of a generational divide where there's, if you're over a certain line, you want a chamber of commerce. That is where you go. That's what's reputable, and that's great. That's what we want. We pride ourselves on that. You can see things like Kennedy Space Center, information on the port, the Space Coast Fun Guide, coupon books, maps are a big deal. There's, again, a generation that wants that map in their hands versus on their smartphone. But we have it all. We also have our other website, which is visitcocobeach.com. That's to plan your vacation. That's for the tourist center, our CVB website. So we have restaurants, hotels, links to book, things like that, and different specials on that website. In that center, you're definitely going to see more of the targeted, here's where you stay, play, dine, services, cabs, things like that, information on cruises. So there's a slight difference. If you're coming into our chamber office on the mainland, you're going to see more businesses. So if you need a plumber or someone to do your hair, all the way up to you want to know when the next launch is from SpaceX or ULA or Kennedy Space Center, we kind of run the gamut. And then our tourist center is more geared towards entertainment, bus schedules, hotels, different things like that.
You brought something up that I experience a lot in my practice, which is the generation gap.
Yes.
The people, the older folks, of which I'm rapidly becoming, still prefer both paper or, like you say, you want hands on a map or things like that, look at a wall of business cards, whereas the newer generation would rather look at an iPad screen or some such digital representation of the business card screen where you can touch it and move through it. How is the chamber staying current while still, it's easy to serve the older generation because we have the paper, but how do you stay current with the keep it going?
Fabulous question. And in part, I think that's why I was hired. So you might be able to tell, but I am a millennial in a leadership position. And chambers of commerce, as we're modeled currently, can tend to be a bit antiquated. So we are trying to look at, as a chamber and as a board and as an organization, how do we move into this new generation? So part of how we're doing that is through our websites and keeping those current and making sure that they're digital and mobile friendly. I come from a generation, we were pretty much the first that was raised on computers. Facebook came out, I think, when I was a senior in high school. So we're kind of that generation. And then the generation coming up behind us is even different and wants things even more rapidly. So right now we're just trying to address, all right, how do we target the millennial generation and keep that current and get that next generation to care. So a small piece of what I've been doing, Jonathan, is I started a young professionals group at our chamber. I think that was a missing piece at our chamber personally to get that next generation engaged in business and why it's important to care about policy and legislation that could affect our small businesses through our government affairs committee, or why we should be out there cleaning up our lagoon, which I was and just ruined my shoes a few weeks ago. And then we were out cleaning up trash with Keep Provide Beautiful. So we're very big in our young professionals group, which it's been a little over a year now, on community service. Of course, we do socials and things like that. And we also network within our own generation, but it's also about bridging the gap between them or among the generations. Just how do we do business together? How do you think? How can I help you in terms of what you're doing? So the young professionals group is great. We actually do have a meeting coming up on August 18th, and it's called the Millionaire Millennial. We have a great financial planner coming in that's going to teach and assist the millennials that we have coming on how to best save money, spend money. There's certainly a divide in what's best in terms of how we spend our money. I think millennials they tend more to do it on vacations and things like that instead of socking away for a rainy day, which if you do, come to Cocoa Beach and things like that. So we have a great and all-encompassing young professionals group, just keeping things digital and mobile, changing up who is in some of our committees and our groups so that we can have all generations represented, I think is really important. So those are just a few small examples. I could take up a lot of time talking about the generation gap.
But, that's important because especially young people that are starting a business.
Yes.
I'm always surprised at how they dress so down for business. and I know that seems to be a generational thing, but they're things that I don't think they've learned. They don't realize that you have to address people when they walk into your business and say, I'm going to be right with you. If you're on the phone, at least acknowledge them. Yes. And a lot of the things that you do at the chamber help teach people how to be a business person.
Absolutely. We have several classes and seminars and great instructors. And like I said, even my own husband is a new business owner. He's been in business 2 years, and just being able to have those skills really takes you such a far way. And for me in business, some people might look at my sleeveless dress today and think, I don't know, but I was in a suit jacket yesterday pouring sweat. It's the middle of summer in Florida. What do you want from me? So it's just, there's
you're
different.
Not barefooted.
No, I got heels on. Yeah. So we're good.
And that is an environmental thing too. I moved up from South Florida, and in the beginning of my career, I wore a long sleeve shirt and tie every day, suit and or tie every day. And when I moved up to Brevard County, I'm like, I'm living on the beach. I'm going comfortable.
It's a little more lax. And, I come from a world of economic development too. And so I went from wearing a suit every day and, my board almost even, I was the CVB director before I became the CEO. And so my board was always, ragging on me that, you need to get out of this suit. You're too stiff. But in business, we're trained. You better have that suit on, that suit jacket on, and your skirt better be right at your knees and things like that. So that's always going to be a part of my mind. I think that's just part of also really going back to who your parents are. It starts in the home. If you've got parents that are working and train you that way, then that's great. And that's certainly what I hope to instill in my son. But it is a generational thing, and I think as long as if you see someone that's in your own generation that maybe could be doing better, you tell them that, don't be afraid to say, look, I think it's great what you're doing, but I think we could improve in these areas. And I certainly have had to do that with some of my own staff. So, just helping each other and within groups like the Young Professional Group, I think is really important.
Well, some of the places that fall under your, let's call it jurisdiction for the chamber, for the Cocoa Beach Chamber of Commerce.
So official. I'm like Sheriff Sugarman.
That's right. I like that. Places like Cocoa Village.
Yes.
The port, all the way down to Pineda Causeway. So we've got Vieira in there, Suntree, all the different places up and down the A1A. You've got so many different places that are different.
So
different in what they're marketing and so forth. Some are very home related and a lot of home housing developments, and others, as you say, are on A1A and they're more tourists and so forth. I have just a curiosity question.
Shoot.
Because really Cocoa Beach really got on the map basically in the 60s when they came with the Space Center and they really started opening things up. And of course, it got a great shot in the arm on the TV series I Dream of Jeannie. Do people ever come in and want to know, can I see the house, Major Nelson's house?
You have no idea. So we get calls I think still a lot of people don't understand what a Chamber of Commerce does. So I'm still trying to tell that story. I got a call the other day from a woman who said, I'd really love to move down. I'm retiring, but I'm afraid an alligator is going to eat my dog if I'm out walking it. And I said, well, they're not just sunbathing every few feet here. It's okay. But certainly we actually, in our CVB office in the tourist center on the beach, we have this beautiful handmade foam genie bottle. And for some reason, as big as the show was, and now we have the Cocoa Beach Half Marathon, so we have genie competitions and things like that. But we don't have a lot of I Dream of Jeannie memorabilia anywhere. So one of our most popular calls at our chamber is, where can we go and see the house? Do you have I Dream of Jeannie Lane? Yes, you can take a picture of the sign. Do you have any memorabilia that we can buy? Do you have actual artifacts or, things that were from that show that we can come and take pictures with? And so, I was at a meeting, I think it was probably Monday. I was over at the CVB office and a group of tourists came in. They were from Ohio, I think. And they said, we're here to take a picture with your genie bottle. And it's just super popular, and it's because there's all those reruns, and how I know all these shows is TV Land and all that kind of stuff. So, and it's a great show. And I think Cocoa Beach was mentioned in it. Did you guys see that YouTube video where they talked about how many times they mentioned the name Cocoa Beach in the show, and it's thousands and thousands and thousands.
Right.
So
It's a great
shot in the arm is exactly how you should characterize it. But
I know Barb Eden from time to time comes here to support something or, make an appearance.
She actually came to the first Cocoa Beach Half Marathon, and so I did a little selfie with her in the way back, when I finished it. But she's a lovely, lovely person, and certainly the show did a lot. And yes, we get calls all the time about the show and where can we go. And we have people walking through the tourist center all the time to take a picture with that foam genie bottle, because it's one of the only things other than the street sign that we really have. But I know that there is something in the works, I think, with the county trying to do more of a monument for that.
I think I'm going to have to reestablish my old slogan from years ago. I used to be known as Space Coast Magic Genie, making all of your home wishes come true. I'm going to bring that back. I think
that's smart. Yeah, it's very popular. Absolutely, it is. Definitely.
Well, I know we talk about the area, Central Florida, and I get a lot of the tourism over in the Orlando area. And I always said, I made up a little slogan one time. I think they had a contest a few years ago on coming up with a new slogan for the Space Coast. And my slogan was, they didn't accept this one, but I like it. So my slogan is, Orlando might have the worlds, but we have the space.
Oh.
And making that more like we have the space to live, we have the space program. So.
I love that. And you know what's even better to say?
Okay.
And I'm going to mess it up. So I used to have it down pat because we were the world's only quadrimodal hub. And now we have 5. So I think it's quintamodal or something.
We talked about that.
I'm
with the
messing
economic
it up.
Development person.
Yes. Okay.
Word,
perfect. Well, see,
on.
I used to work at the EDC, so we are speaking from the same song sheet there. But it is a fabulous thing because I had no idea what it meant.
Questions, Jean, is does anybody know what this word means? And we had a whole
no one
conversation
does.
on
No
that.
one does. But it's we have a port, we have space, we have the airport.
It's all the different transportations.
Every single kind.
They have every kind here.
Every kind. And people don't realize that. And you know what else we have is we have every single branch of the military. And people don't realize that either. We have NO2 out at the port. We have Navy, Marine, Army, and you can come and learn about all of these different branches of the military and what they're doing currently at our MAC meetings. So I encourage the public to do that and visit our calendar as well.
When's the next MAC meeting?
Next MAC meeting. Well, we actually have a partner in Patriots Bowling fundraiser, which is at 1 o'clock at Shore Lanes in Merritt Island on August 19th. And that all the funds from that directly go and support active duty military, and you can actually bowl with an active duty military person, so that's great. The Marines won last year, I think, and they take that very seriously. So all branches are there, but our next MAC meeting is at 5:30 on August 16th, and it's actually going to be at the Exploration Tower out at the port. So I encourage you to register for that if you're interested.
All right. Well, we had been talking in the beginning before off air about how everything really relates to real estate, and we only have a few minutes left, but I will inquire, do you get inquiries from out of state, out of area on the real estate market, and how do you attend to that? How does the chamber deal with people calling? Yeah.
Thousands. So we have a lot of realtors in the chamber. Yes. Encourage you to be involved. But we do relocation packets at our CVB office. So we put one of our visitor guides in there. We have a Yellow Pages disc we put in there. If we have realtors that are a part of our CVB, we put all of their cards in there. And so we can put together relocation packets. We field calls all the time with questions. We have a great partnership with the realtors associations in the area and things like that. So mainly we are a one-stop shop as a chamber for being in the know of what's going on in the community. We're the boots on the ground. We are business. The main thing with the chamber is that we strictly promote our partnership. So that is the benefit of being a part of the chamber. We provide validity. We provide that one-stop shop of here's what there is to do, here's what there is to see. But also if you're looking to come here, we'd love to have you, and we're here to help you every step of the way through our partnership. And
for those of you listening out of the area who are very interested, how can they get in touch with you to get a packet such as that?
Absolutely. So you would call our CVB office, which is 321-784-6444, or you can visit the website at visitcocobeach.com.
Wow. You have been listening to Jennifer Sugarman, who has given us an hour and a half's worth of information in the last 22 minutes. It's been wonderful having you. I could be here all day. I know. There's so much to talk about. There is. Our chamber is so all-encompassing. But I do encourage everyone to go to our website because that really is where everything lives. So And that's
CocoBeachChamber.com.
CocoBeachChamber.com. If you haven't visited the Cocoa Beach area, we encourage you to come up, make your first stop at the Chamber of Commerce. You're open Mondays through Fridays, right?
Absolutely. Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, and then Fridays 9 to 4. But our tourist center is open 7 days a week, and that's at 3800 North Atlantic Avenue on A1A, right near Ron John's. Okay. So 7 days a week, 9 to 4.
And one last thing, do you have any idea how many people visit the Cocoa Beach area on your...
That's a great question. The only answer I can give you is how many we capture that actually sign in on our sheet. And I want to say it's around 14,000 a year that just come to our tourist center in Cocoa Beach. We have several thousand more that come by Exploration Tower in the port.
Wow, great information. Thank you all for listening to Your Hometown Solutions, where we cover everything, join me, John, from foreclosures to Feng Shui. And today we've been talking to Jennifer Sugarman from the Cocoa Beach Chamber of Commerce. And please tune in next Monday for another guest. And we have always exciting information to share with you. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Jennifer, for coming to our studios today.
Thank you.